When Air Force intelligence specialist Dylan Borland stepped outside his barricades at Langley Air Force Base at 1:30 a.m. back in 2012, he expected a routine smoke break. Instead, he witnessed a 100-foot triangular craft that would change his life forever and cost him his career. What happened next reveals the dark side of UAP disclosure and the retaliation faced by military whistleblowers who dared to tell the truth. As always, I'm here to report the information without bias, and you can decide what to believe. You can find the sources in my detailed articles at ufonews.co, along with in the description box below. Hey ufologers, I'm Cristina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates.
On my phone, smoking a cigarette, and I see a white light pop up from the NASA hangar. Comes up about 100 feet and stops. I know it was the NASA hangar because I have
redacted.
Dylan Borland is not your typical UFO witness. As a geospatial intelligence specialist, he was trained to analyze imagery from satellites, drones, and aircraft across global theaters of operation. His job required him to make life or death decisions about enemy targets, decisions that often resulted in lethal drone strikes. And his expertise makes his testimony about what he saw that night particularly compelling. On that summer night back in 2012, Borland was working a split shift during a weather delay. And as he smoked outside his barricades, he observed what appeared to be a white light emerging from the NASA hangar at Langley Air Force Base. Initially dismissing it as a weather balloon test, he continued with his routine. But as he walked toward the flight line, the light moved with purpose. Here's what he mentioned on the Weaponized podcast.
Flies right across the flight line to me, and as it flies, it's 100 to 150 foot equilateral triangle appears right over me, 100 feet above me, 100 feet in front of me. The triangle had black metallic flake paint. I'm a car guy, and it looked like that expensive, like classic look, like you could see the light glisten off of it. Equilateral triangle, I could only see the bottom and angles. It was a 90-degree right angle all around.
And the 100-foot equilateral triangle featured black metallic paint and 4 white lights, 3 small ones at each corner and 1 larger central light. Most striking was that Borland described as a yellow transparent glow pulsating around the entire craft like a lava lamp effect. And the encounter lasted 3 to 5 minutes. During this time, Borland's cell phone became incredibly hot and then froze completely. The craft remained silent, producing no sound or even wind displacement. When it departed, the center light flashed several times before the object accelerated to commercial aircraft altitude in mere seconds, leaving Borland to smell the defective ozone scent of a lightning storm. And his military career began with noble intentions. After scoring well on his Air Force officer qualification test, but choosing to enlist instead, he became an imagery analyst specializing in ISR operations, and his work with Special Forces units included some of the military's most sensitive missions, including search and rescue operations for the SEAL team members killed in helicopter crash after the Bin Laden mission. And as noted in the Defense Department documentation, imagery analysts like Borland are trained to identify and track targets using multiple sensor systems, including infrared, electro-optical, and synthetic aperture radar. And this technical expertise made him valuable to the drone operation, where he made targeting decisions that resulted in lethal strikes against enemy combatants.
And I have done some high-profile lethal action missions.
Lethal action missions meaning you're taking action through the drone that you're operating against enemy combatants.
Yeah. So it was my job to determine who, what, when, where, why, how, and make the call on that is the person we are seeking and what is happening.
You make the call, you press the button, and somebody's dead.
I make the call, I relay that in certain capacity.
The psychological toll of his work cannot be understated. Borland revealed that the drone program was notorious for suicide rates among personnel, particularly pilots transitioning from traditional aircraft. And the intimate surveillance capabilities allowed operators to know everything about their targets. their daily routines, their family interactions, even bathroom schedules. After leaving the Air Force, Borland joined the BAE Systems, Britain's largest aerospace contractor, and the UK equivalent of Lockheed Martin. The BAE Systems operate in the United States through subsidiary agreements and handles classified intelligence contracts for multiple Five Eyes nations. Per government contracting regulations, Borland's position required maintaining his top security SCI security clearance with polygraph examinations. However, approximately 7 months into his employment with the BAE, he discovered his clearance had been administratively revoked without notification. And this placed him in a legal gray area, working on classified materials without proper authorization while being unable to seek alternative employment in the intelligence community.
And about 7 months into working there, I found out that my clearance was revoked administratively and I was not in any system and no one could look me up. So I was basically stuck working there indefinitely or had to leave the IC completely.
This administrative action represents what experts described as career perjury, a deliberate strategy to isolate potential whistleblowers by making them unemployed in their field while avoiding formal disciplinary proceedings that might generate documentation or appeal processes. In March of 2023, Borland filed a formal complaint with the Intelligence Community Inspector General, and his testimony included not only his Langley Encounter, but also exposure to classified information about UAP crash retrieval programs through his Special Access Program position. And according to congressional testimony from September of this year, the ICIG officials confirmed Borland's allegations as credible, though not marked urgent. And this distinction relates to immediate physical threat assessments rather than information validity. And as documented in the House Oversight Committee records, Borland also testified to AARO and provided material evidence supporting his claims.
So you have direct knowledge of UAP being actual craft of unknown or non-human origin. From your official capacity of work, you have some direct knowledge of that?
100%. Not only do I have it, I testified to it, I provided materials proving it, and it was proven to me that what I provided was in fact true.
Who did you testify to? List them out.
Senate staff, House staff, AARO, and the ICIG.
Under oath.
Under oath. FBI was there. The ICIG was there. The DOD was there at points in time. Staff members from armed services, intelligence. Basically, I went through the whole kit and caboodle to tell the truth and get this on record because I have grave concerns for what is happening to people.
Borland's written testimony details a comprehensive retaliation campaign spanning over a decade. And these tactics include medical malpractice by Veterans Affairs staff, denial of Air Force service records, forged employment documents, workplace harassment where colleagues were directed not to speak with him, and manipulation of security clearance records to prevent classified employment. As recently as November of 2024, multiple agencies conducted what Borland describes as phishing attacks during counterintelligence polygraph examinations, attempting to extract details about his ICIG complaint during clearance processing for positions unrelated to UAP matters. Then the Wall Street Journal reported on mysterious drone swarms that appeared over Langley Air Force Base for 17 consecutive nights back in December of 2023. And these drones operated in sophisticated patterns, remained undetected by conventional radar, and disappeared despite extensive government efforts to identify their operations. The incident reached President Biden's daily briefings and triggered White House emergency meetings, yet their origin remains unknown. So the ongoing mystery at the same base where Borland had his encounter over a decade earlier raises questions about continued UAP activity at sensitive military installations and whether current disclosure efforts adequately address the scoop of these phenomena. As Borland stated in his congressional testimony, quote, "The future of humanity is one in which we either travel to the stars or regress to the Stone Age with this technology. The time to act is now." What do you think motivates the government's apparent campaign to silence UAP witnesses? And how can Congress better protect those who risk everything to reveal the truth? Share your thoughts below. I'm Cristina Gomez, and that is it for today. I will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST for another UFO news update. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoyed today's show, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the notification bell as I do daily UFO news and updates. Fresh UAP stories, government disclosures, and breaking developments land here every single day.